we start this forbidden love story, the characters are clearly marked, but for further clarification, Romeo, who is played by Davis Taylor, represents ADP/ATP. Juliet, who's depicted by Madison Link, represents NAD+/NADPH, and Liam Tonchev represents the nurse, which does not represent anything in traditional chloroplast, but for the sake of the story acts as a guide. We shall start. Two stages, both alike in function. In chloroplast, where we lay our scene. Two noble families, age-old rivals, the chloroplasts versus the Stomontagues. Every interaction between the family leads to bitter conflict and harsh words. The rivalry runs through generations until now. In this town of chloroplast, there are two key structures that are essential for the function of this town. The multiple structures, affectionately labeled thylakoids, and the various shops surrounding these churches, broadly called stroma. The lovely, noble daughter, Juliet chloroplast, wanders around the stroma, lonely as if she was missing something. She was lonely until she saw the gleaming Romeo Stomontague. Their love forbidden, yes, but her eyes couldn't leave his. Romeo, also missing something, knew that any contact could lead to death by execution of both him and that mysterious girl, and he was not taking chances with that nurse approaching. As Romeo ran off, Madison turned to her nurse, stating, "Nurse, my heart longs for that mystery man. Please use your power to find out everything you can." The nurse responds, "I will do my best," knowing that if the two families find out their prized children are conversing, it could lead to conflict unlike anything seen between the two families. But the nurse could see the desperation in the young girl's eyes and knew that helping Juliet would be worth it. The nurse enters one of the many thylakoid churches, hoping to find answers to help poor Juliet. The nurse noticed a lot of people from the H+ family, completely indifferent to the chloroplasts and Stomontagues, were streaming in, almost as if someone was pulling them. Maybe Friar Lawrence, preaching to his group of the H+ family, brought people in. And the nurse sits down with the rest of the H+ members, listening to the friar, hoping to find answers for Juliet. The friar starts speaking. "You see, my fellow congregation? Look around the room. Look at those walls. Those walls contain the power needed for society. Everyone look over there. You see the water rushing in a stream along the edge of the wall? Look closely as each water molecule passes by that extruding protein in the wall. It breaks apart. See the familiar face walking over to us right now? That is your H+ family member. And next to them, we have a member of the O2 family. They are what come from the breaking of water. However, there's one last product coming from this process. Do you see the little ball of light where our friends emerge and how it is moving up our stained glass? Well, look up. Do you see the sun shining through our translucent ceiling? Watch what happens to the little ball of light when the sun first hits the first extruding protein with little green dots. The sun's little beads power this attraction. The sun powers our way of life. As you were all walking in, you may have felt a pull. It may have been the power of my preaching, but more likely it was due to this little ball of light releasing energy as it quit shaking. If you were to look into the stroma right now, the sun is out, and we would find very few of your family members roaming the street, as you are all packed into the various thylakoid churches. Now look where our little ball is now, with the protein with the green dots. Like the first dot protein, the electron is excited from the sun, but where does this energy go? That's it, the nurse had its answer. The nurse finds Juliet right outside the church. The nurse says, "I figured out the key to the mysterious man. The thylakoid church will bind you to. It is the key to binding your love." "Oh, look there," the nurse exclaims, "the mysterious boy." "Oh, Romeo, my Romeo," Juliet yearns. Before Romeo has a chance to respond, the friar comes bursting in, putting himself directly between the couple. The friar speaks. "I saw the nurse rush out of the church, and I knew they were pressing matters. Plus, the church was getting crowded with that H+ family." Romeo voices, "Before our families find out, we must get married." Juliet replies with an affectionate yes. The friar speaks up. "Well, you young lovers could have not picked a better place. First, take these. Now, Juliet, step and stand by the extruding green dotted protein, and Romeo by the enzyme right behind you two." "What is happening to me?" Juliet exclaims. At the same time, Romeo combines his phosphate group with his ADP to form ATP. The friar responds, "In the eyes of the thylakoid church, you are now married." Romeo asks, "How did that happen?" "Because of the overpacked church, the power of the H+ exiting gave the necessary power for the enzyme behind you to combine to your ADP and phosphate group to formally confirm your marriage. And to you, dear Juliet, the two little balls of light now lay within you that attracted those two H+ ions to become a part of you, resolving and finalizing your love to dear Romeo." The sun was setting, and Romeo and Juliet had a few celebrations planned. The sun was setting as Romeo and Juliet walked through the shops of the Stroma. The most important thing coming from the sky, besides the sun of course, was the giant hole opening and closing, letting in the air powering this town. And without the sun, it was extra apparent on this night. "Let's go to this shop first," states Juliet. The first shop was a manufacturer. It sucked the air coming from the hole in the sky and using a protein that combined the air from the sky with some other substance, maybe something labeled PGA. The shopkeeper told the young couple that his main customer was the man next door, but be careful, he warned. The man next door does not like new customers, especially those of noble blood. "Ah, perfect," the new shopkeeper says with a tone of satire in his voice. "You two have the perfect thing for my product. I can sense the phosphate and the electrons running through each of you. Come with me." "Perfect," the shopkeeper says again. At this moment, he did the unthinkable. He took the phosphate and the electrons from Romeo and Juliet. As the couple reacts to the shock, the shopkeeper exclaims, "With this stored energy, I can now synthesize my products." The shopkeeper goes back to his shop, placing the phosphate of the ATP and the electrons of the NADPH in the PGA product from the previous step. As a result, this creates a mysterious product labeled P-Gal and G3P. The nurse speaks up. "Now that you've destroyed their love, at least, what did you make?" The shopkeeper began explaining that by using their stored energy in the ATP and the NADPH, he starts building the components of sugar. And this P-Gal is recyclable, allowing for more and more G3P and sugar to be created in the circles of the surrounding shops. This sugar that the shopkeeper is making is essential for experts of the town of chloroplast. It fuels the economy that keeps this town running. The end. To thank our guest stars, Emily Sadwa, Michael Tippy, Jessica Link, Noah Jones, Abigail Bartlett, and Bella Rule. Thank you.